What is AI really? Or if we are being more precise, how does it work? And I'm not talking about the complex jargon or terminology, I'm talking about the simplified version, the version that changes minds, the version that changes how we perceive and use AI. And to do that, we will use the human example. So, let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome for the first time. My name is Idan and this channel is about making AI useful for you. And to do that, we need to really understand AI, where it's coming from, how does it work. So let's kick off with an example. In my hand, I am holding an object and your brain instantly recognizes that this is a phone. But how? Our brain learns through patterns. Your brain knows the pattern of a phone, so it knows that this object is a phone, a pattern of a phone, a pattern of an AC remote. We learn through patterns. The AI learns the exact same way, but where we may need a handful of examples, the AI needs loads of data. And I'm talking about hundreds of millions and billions of data points. And if we change our phone example to dogs, which is nicer, and we see here that little clip. On the left we see that just a handful of examples of the different kinds of dog, and pluck, and the human already understand what a dog is. And you know where we see it very nicely with kids. We show a kid a dog a few times and already the next time that it sees a dog it points and it says, hey, dog, 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 because it learns the pattern of a dog. The same exact thing with AI, but instead of giving it a handful of examples, we need a rain of images of dogs. And you know what? After it learns the pattern of a dog from the images, because it analyzes the pixels and it does statistics and maths on the pixels to understand the pattern of which dog appears between the colors and everything. If we wouldn't give it the word dog next to it, it wouldn't know that it's a dog. Luckily, in the internet, when you see a picture of a dog, many times the word dog is also there. So we learn through patterns, right? We have one pattern, which is the image of the dog. We have another pattern, which almost always come with that image, the alt text, the caption of the word dog. And then we see the third pattern connected together, and the AI knows that a dog, that pattern in the image and that word dog comes together, and that's how it knows dogs. For us, it's your neurochemical link. For the AI is mathematics. But before we go back to that, but how does it go from knowing what a dog is when we show it an image to associating it with loyalty, pet, furriness, cuteness, sadness, love, fear? How does it know? Because we don't just train it on text pairs of images of dogs and the word dogs. We train it on everything we can get our hands on that is trustworthy, so it can find the patterns between everything in there. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the data from modern models like GPT-5 because it's not public to see how big the training data is. What I did find using ChatGPT is the training data for GPT-3. Now, if you don't know, GPT-3 is, well, I don't know if it was even released, if it was straight GPT 3.5, but even if I was to give you 3.5, GPT 3.5 instead of GPT 5 today, you would probably stop using AI or move to Gemini or Grok, which is also an option. So we can only imagine how much bigger the training information, the training data size in GPT 5, how bigger it is than GPT-3. Now let's see the numbers in GPT-3. GPT-3 was trained just from the internet on 300 billion tokens. We have a different video about tokens, but a good rule of thumb is that one token is 3/4 of a word, which means that GPT-3 was trained to find the patterns between 225 billion words. finding the patterns, the statistical patterns between 225 billion words. And it has everything in it. Textbooks for agriculture, for science in general, whether if it's medicine, physiology, animal science, biology, you name it, Shakespeare, poetry, pottery, everything that they can get their hands on that is trustworthy. 225 billion words, finding the pattern between them. And that is just from the internet. There are external databases that this model was trained on. We have the clip database, which is 400 million images that are image text pairs. Image, dog. Image, cat. Also, another one which has almost 6 billion of image text pairs, and more and more and more. So you understand how vast the amount of information that these things, these AIs are trained on. They are trained on it to find those patterns. It's called self-unsupervised learning. Why am I throwing it here? Just in case you want to go read on it, that will be our next video in the AI terms section. 225 billion words, finding the pattern between them. This is how it creates the associations, because it reads that these 225 billion words and it sees the dog comes with loyalty and pets and guardian and courage and love and maybe even fear, because there is information about people that are afraid of dogs, or sadness because there are texts about people that are sad because they lost their dog. And then what happens is that a concept map appears, and we see that the word dog is connected to the word guard because it's seen the word guard with the dog, a guardian dog. It's something that in history is history and also today, it's something that it's very common. And here it's connected to loyalty, and loyalty is connected to courage and to trust. It creates association based on the examples that it's seen. It's seen so many examples that it sees fit to put loyalty next to courage, next to trust, and to put joy connected to dog next to fear, next to sadness, and fear is connected to power, which is connected to king. All thanks to the 225 billion words and the external databases that it was set upon, which creates our concept map. Now, a few disclaimers before we get into how everything here help us. The concept map, the official term, is called latent space. And a funny anecdote, this latent space, which is, by the way, again, very similar to how we think, because when we saw here the dogs, we didn't just think dog. We connected it to something. To, oh, I love the husky. My neighbor's dog barked at 2 a.m. We connected it also to pet, to joy, and to love, and to loyalty. It works almost the same way, but where for us it is a neurochemical link, for the AI is math, is statistics. And the cool thing here is that I asked ChatGPT to make it for me for this video, and I told the chat, please make a latent space in 3D. That concept map, that association map that we're seeing of the AI is called a latent space. That is the official term if you want to read more about it. Now, a few disclaimers. First of all, we said latent space, it's not 3D. It's much more, and it's a mathematical, so don't try to think how something that isn't 3D looks like. There is an enormous layer of people that do a lot of things to make sure that the AI gives us useful answers. The main thing is real life human feedback. It's where the researchers of OpenAI or the other AI companies just align the AI based on human feedback, real life human feedback, to give us more desirable and more helpful and useful answers. We are here with the simplified version. We are here to understand that it works on patterns. That is the principal idea. Patterns, 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 patterns. So where do we land? And how does it help us? So we understand that the AI learns through patterns. And we also understand the sheer amount of volume of data that it is trained on. And it finds patterns where we would have never even thought to look for. That is the power of the AI. This is also why we like to use it so much. One second, I'm looking for my notes here. In those patterns, it sees an ocean of examples. It carves a statistical map of meaning, and then it does the math, and it answers to us based on the message that we gave to the AI. It's not a lived experience. It can't touch the furriness of a dog, but it's in so many examples that the effect is similar, where we have this thing that we can call a neighborhood of ideas. And you saw the numbers, you saw the amount of training data there it is, and today it's so much more, so much more. And yes, sometimes you hear classic AI language. Why? Because that language, like seamlessly or GPT-5 gives me no fluff all the time, was in the training data. Also, it explains why at some things it's very good and in some things it's very bad. I tried a while back to generate some sort of, no, cool, I will call it cool images of dinosaurs with ChatGPT. I tried to make it oil painting style, something very unique, but it was very bad at it. But when I moved to Bunny, it it hit it in a second. Why? Because it's seen much more images of bunnies, oil painting style, than it did of T-Rexes. Because there was more data about one thing than on the other. Now, where do you come in? Since it has so many patterns, it's an engine of patterns. We want to use it for our own advantage. Your context is the steering wheel. Every word nudges the result towards a certain place. If you ask it to plan for you a dog training curriculum, there is a difference between a beginner and an advanced curriculum. A huge difference. The context is king. If you need it to prepare a letter for your colleague, if you're in a high-tech firm, then if you are in a financial firm, the result will be different. Context here is king. Give it a clear lane, let it roam inside, let it be what it is, a pattern finding machine, and it will find those patterns that we wouldn't even think about. That's what we want to let it do. We do that through context. Because think about it. There's so much information. And what our context does, it just tells the AI, hey, let's go that way. More context, more context, more context, more context, more context. Poof! Exactly what I want. Perfect for what I want, with the best patterns that I could have hoped for. If I'm telling the chat, let's go back to the dog training curriculum. Get me a dog training curriculum. Here, it will give me very vast things, but hey, my dog already knows. Give me a dog training curriculum, chat, please. My dog already knows sit, stand, lay down, roll over, jump, smile, bark, crawl. You see what's going on? All of that context helps us get a better response towards our use case. And it will find the patterns that right now you just can't seem to find. It will find them for you, which is the beauty of it, because it's a tool to help you evolve yourself. I think that this is enough for today. This is enough for the simplified version. I will see you in the next video, in the next AI news flash, which we call it This Week in AI. And like, subscribe, leave a comment down below what you would like to see next. Otherwise, we will talk about the types of learning of AI in the next AI Terms Explained. Bye bye.